I'm Joe Benson. Join me this week for The Doors, Off the Record. Producer Bruce Botnick, John Densmore, Robby Krieger, and Ray Manzarek take us inside the band's live show.
When you go to see music, you want a little danger. See, in the improvisation is the danger. Because maybe it won't work, maybe it will work, or maybe you'll go someplace that you never expected to go in your life.
We're focusing on The Doors live, good and bad. It's Off the Record, only from Westwood One.
All right.
The Doors, live from the Boston Arena. They did 2 shows that April 10th in 1970, and now, in celebration of the band's 40th anniversary, the entire night is being released as a 3-disc box set. And today, The Doors' 3 surviving members, Ray Manzarek, Robby Krieger, and John Densmore, along with producer Bruce Botnick, relive the magic of the mystical band and that famous last live run with Jim Morrison. I'm Joe Benson. Welcome to The Doors Off the Record. Joe Benson talking with Ray Manzarek, celebrating 40 years of The Doors. That's a pretty significant milestone you've reached here, my friend.
Yeah, well, that ain't bad, huh, Joe? That's pretty good. The fact that, I only wish Morrison was here to celebrate it with us. He'd love it, that's for sure. But, yeah, it's a great honor and a great privilege.
Amazing job in remastering the music for this 40th anniversary package.
Well, thank you, man. That's Bruce Botnick, our buddy from the very get-go. We first walked into Sunset Sound on the Sunset Strip, the recording studio, and our producer was Paul Rothschild, and our engineer was Bruce Botnick. And Bruce Botnick is still with us. We're still working together.
Come this is Bruce Botnick, and you're listening to The Doors Off the Record with Joe Benson.
Before Paul Rothchild died, he and somebody went through and cataloged the Doors material, the recordings that could be found. Give me a little bit of explanation, because you were around.
Well, Paul and I went on a major search. When Elektra had studios here, we had all the tapes together, all the outtakes, everything. In alphabetical order, it was all there. When I left Elektra and went independent, they decided to close down the studios out here. And the guy that was running the studio decided to take a saw to a lot of the outtakes, almost all of them, and sold off raw tape, tape that could have been reused. So when it came time to find all the tapes, after we realized what had happened, Paul and I made a trip back to New York and New Jersey and in Philadelphia, wherever Elektra had tape vaults. And we didn't pay attention to what the computer said they had. We went through boxes and boxes. We spent weeks back east going through tapes, and we found things. And what we found, we have today. Unfortunately, we don't have, as I say, a lot of the outtakes. Would love to have had them.
When did you realize it probably was going to be a viable thing to start releasing some of these live recordings,
Well, it's Bright Midnight is the Doors label. And we have stuff from Bakersfield and Fresno and Vancouver, Seattle, stuff that was recorded by Vince Traynor, their sound man, just with a quarter-track machine plugged into their PA. That'll be coming out. But the big cities that made up Absolutely Live that I mentioned before are a part of this, and we're putting out the concerts totally unadulterated. From them walking on stage, the introduction, through playing, through stopping, what are we going to do next, spending 5 minutes just goofing around, the audience not knowing what's going on. We leave the whole thing, and so people get the entire concert experience. So each album, each concert is 2 CDs, and it's packed. It's 74 minutes each disc. The fans really get the real thing.
Jim especially had to be different because he had to exaggerate his movements and stuff like that just to get the crowd to notice what he was doing, The Doors, when we played, it was like we were really kind of doing what we felt rather than what the audience expected, and it became more and more that, the bigger the audience, the more they expected something crazy to happen, and so Jim had to satisfy them by jumping off the stage or something like that.
When the music's over, when the music's over, when the music's over, turn out the light, turn out the light, turn out the light. When the music's over, when the music's over, when the music's over, turn out the lights, turn out the lights, turn out the lights. Well, music is your only friend. Dance on fire is your test. Music is your only friend. One till the end, until the end, until
Hi, I'm John Densmore, Doors drummer. This is Off the Record with Joe Benson.
Now, haven't you said that most of the time in the Doors, you were actually drumming to the singer, what the singer was doing, as opposed to locking in
Well, no. My first job is to keep the rhythm. I'm the timekeeper. Ray played a keyboard bass live. And actually in the studio, we had various studio bass players overdub just Ray's left hand, just that line, no fancy stuff, just to give it more punch because Moog synthesizers hadn't been invented. And so my job is to keep the beat. And when Ray would solo and his left hand was the bass, he'd get excited with his right hand and speed up. And I have to, whoa, come on back here. Then my second thing, I found out, wow, I can have a conversation with Jim. I can lead him, I can answer him, I can stop the beat, and when the music's over, and just let the bass go. I don't know why I did this. And then he's going, what have they done to the earth? What have they done to our fair sister? And I go, oh yeah? And then later I start the beat again. I don't know why, but people liked it.
Resurrection. Send my credential to the house of detention. I got some friends inside. The face in the mirror won't stop. The girl in the window won't drop. A feast of friends, alive she cried, waiting for me outside.
69, maybe there were monitors starting to be used. I think the Stones were the first ones who used them on stage. Robby had said that the Doors just set up their equipment in a way that they could hear each other on stage. And I know they were using the old Shure PA columns for a while, which heaven forbid. But live recordings must have been incredibly difficult to do at that time. You didn't really have a remote truck.
Well, yes, we did.
Well, you did?
Yeah, there was one of the first. Fedco Audio Labs had this little teeny truck with 2 miniature 8-track machines and a small console. And we brought mics from Los Angeles. Didn't use that many microphones, though. Mm-hmm. And it was actually pretty good. Once we got the routine down, it was really easy. It was a lot of fun. I remember going into Detroit, and the Doors were all pissed off because Tom Jones was coming into
Cobo Hall.
Mm-hmm. And we were only getting, I think, like anywhere $3 to $6 top tickets. Tom Jones was getting $25 a ticket.
Oh my God!
In those days, selling it out for like nights in a row. You know, he was like,
oh my God!
And the Doors were just thought, what's the matter with these people? They're not listening to us.
The Doors were unique in the musical presentation in that you had a drummer who was basically playing off the vocalist. You had a guy playing keyboards and bass, so I guess you'd say holding together, and your role in that on guitar was what?
Well, I basically, because we didn't have a bass player or a rhythm guitar player, I kind of did all those things at once, I mean, Ray played a piano bass, but it wasn't a real bass, so there was a lot of room bass-wise down there, which I kind of filled up. I didn't use a pick, so I was able to use my, all of my fingers on the right hand to kind of fill in those spaces.
Did you realize at the time what a unique situation you were in, having that much room to cover, or was it just like something to do?
No, I mean, in fact, that really made what my style was because of what I had to do there, But, I never thought about it,
I said, baby, we gonna have some fun. Wow, come on. Wow. Day destroy the night, 90 miles a day. Down and drive, we're gonna lead to the other side. We're gonna lead to the other side. We're gonna lead to the other side. Yeah, chased off way on here. Dug out chair over there. There we go, down and drive. We're gonna
surprised at the level of the performance?
No. Why should I be surprised at the level of the performance?
Well, sometimes
man,
you
it's
go back and look.
The Doors in concert. I know how we played. We played damn good in concert. You know, there's some really good stuff. Detroit is a fabulous concert. Boston is Jim Morrison drunk as a skunk. You're going to enjoy the heck out of that one. Eventually, we're even going to release Miami. We've got a little bit of tape, not a lot, not the whole concert, but we have some of Miami that'll come out. And we've got great Aquarius Theater here in Los Angeles, Pittsburgh, Chicago, lots of great concerts.
The Doors live in Boston. That's Break On Through. It was performed during the second show of the night on what was the band's first stop of their last tour with Jim Morrison, April 10th, 1970. The entire two performances are being released as a 3-disc set this Tuesday, and we're giving you a chance to win it before you can buy it. Just log on to offtherecordshow.com and enter to win. I'm Joe Benson, and when The Doors Off the Record returns, producer Bruce Botnick remembers his first introduction to The Doors, and Ray Manzarek and Robby Krieger run through the band's stage setup.
Hi, I'm Ray Manzarek, and this is The Doors Off the Record with your uncle, Joe Benson.
The Allmans came along a little bit later than The Doors, and the Allmans actually had monitors on stage. Most of the time you played, how did you even hear what was going on?
Well, you listened. You listened up and listen, fella, and listen good. You know, it's a John Wayne time. We had the amplifiers, and we had two big monitors for Jim. Well, not monitors, the actual speakers that were blasting out into the audience, made by our roadie, that we called them the monoliths from 2001. And Vince, our roadie, Vince Traynor, who was great, designed the things and built them and hauled them to gig after gig. Well, you listen, you balanced everything on stage so that you could hear. I could hear Robby, I could hear John, I could hear Jim, and I could hear myself. And that's how we did it. You had to be, it was a Zen moment. That's what was so great about it. It was The Doors in concert, is that it was a moment in time, a Zen moment, and you had to capture it. You have to capture the energy, the feeling, the spirit, the muse of that time, of that day, of that night, of that particular performance. And most of the time, knock on wood, we did, you know.
Yeah, we never heard of monitors. You know, they didn't have monitors.
So you actually were dealing with whatever you could hear on stage, which fortunately you didn't have to worry too much about the guitar player being so loud.
Right, guitar was fine, but you know, John had a problem because he couldn't play loud enough. But what we did is finally we got mics and mic'd the drums, and John had a couple of amps that he would go through. And Jim finally, once we were big enough to have our own stuff, we built this huge PA system, and Jim, still there was no, monitors right in front of you like they have today. It was like all he could do is hear from the side. They'd tip him in a little bit, the ones on the front of the stage. So poor Jim, I mean, he could never hear himself. He really couldn't. Which is one reason why I think why we were so dynamic. We would come down a lot of times, you know, so he could hear himself.
Well, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, if we don't find that whiskey bar, tell you we must die. Tell you we must die. Tell you, I tell you we must die. Oh, now must say goodbye.
Bruce Botnick, famed Doors producer, is here today. This is your Uncle Joe Benson, Off the Record. Now, where along the way did you get the call to work with the Doors? They're a brand new group, just getting started. They seem any different when you ran into them?
Okay, we'll have to go in the Wayback Machine here. A friend of Jack Holzman's managed Tim Buckley.
Yeah.
And Jack, actually, let's go back even further. Yeah, well, he managed Tim Buckley, but that didn't come to the fore at the time. Jack had signed a group called Love.
Uh-huh.
Jack asked him, he says, where's a good place to record? And he said, Sunset Sound. There's this kid there that seems to be okay. So we came out, we did Love. After Love came Tim Buckley.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Tim
and that's
Buckley...
diametrically opposed as well.
Yeah, that's a whole nother
I
planet.
mean, Tim is folk,
Yeah,
whatever, and
right.
and Arthur Lee is...
Yes. And then Jack signed the Doors, and I had worked... Paul Rothschild produced the first Tim Buckley album. So when it came time to do the Doors, they just walked in the studio. I just set up for a session. I didn't know who they were.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't much of a club goer.
Well, you were working all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's like during the Peace and Love era, we were making the music, so we never went into the love-ins or anything like that. So we were making the music for the movie.
When they first came in, what was your impression the first time they walked in?
4 guys, another band, but I happened to immediately relate to the music. That was it.
I'm sure you found out fairly shortly into it. Like Robby said that he'd never really played electric guitar before. Did it show in his technique or anything to begin with, or were he already so everything snapped?
No, he was amazing because I didn't realize he had only been playing guitar about a year before that.
Oh.
And he came in with this flamenco guitar style without using a pick, which was tremendously unusual. But it was very similar to Love in some respects. It was a performance band, a band coming in from the club. They were going to the club every night and playing after we'd record and playing their songs.
Before you slip into unconsciousness, I'd like to have another kiss, another flashing chance at bliss, another kiss, another kiss. The days are bright and filled with pain, enclose me in your gentle rain. The time you ran was too insane. We'll meet again, we'll meet again.
It was very interesting because John and Ray were very much in tune with jazz musicians. And I'd be working with artists on the Pacific Jazz label. And I'd be doing a jazz date in the morning, and then they'd come in the afternoon. And they'd come in early to sit and hang and watch these guys play.
Oh, tell me where your freedom lies. The streets are fields that never die. Deliver me from reasons why you'd rather cry. I'd rather fly. The crystal ship is being filled. 1,000 girls, 1,000 thrills, a million ways to spend your time. When we get back, I'll drop a line.
Hi, I'm Robby Krieger, and the Doors Off the Record with your Uncle Joe Benson. We'll be right back.
It's your Uncle Joe talking with Robby Krieger of the Doors here Off the Record. In the latter stages of putting music together in the studio, and sometimes you're doing that because Jim just wasn't there to record, but you're putting the songs together in the studio. How experimental were you with different guitars and amplifiers and effects? Or was it always just trying to capture a song?
I didn't use that many effects, really, in it. Paul Rothschild and I talked about this many times, but he didn't want me to because he says, if you use all these crazy effects, it really dates you. Yeah. So if you check that stuff out, there's not much more than a wah-wah pedal here and a fuzz box. That's about it.
Were you basically playing your road gig with the same guitar you take out on the road, same amps?
Same guitar, but different amps. For studio, I almost always use the twin reverbs.
So it's much smaller.
Yeah.
And you can get the tone, of course.
Right. I mean, you could crank it, and if I could have done that on the road, I would have, but it wasn't loud enough, In those days, you had to be loud because, there was no good PAs. So, we had giant amps. In fact, we had our guy, Vince Trainer, who was our roadie. He built these amps for us. Remember the old acoustic amps? They were like blue.
Padding,
No, it wasn't the Tuck and Roll one.
Okay.
That was custom.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
This was acoustic. They had a horn.
A little horn with black and then the white rim.
So we were kind of signed with acoustic because they gave us a lot of gear. But in reality, we took the acoustic cabinets and stuffed them with our own stuff, JBLs and all the good stuff. And they were loud. They didn't sound that great, but they were real loud.
Don't you love her madly? Don't you need her badly? Don't you love her ways? Tell me what you say. Don't you love her madly? Wanna be her daddy? Don't you love her face? Don't you love her as she's walking out the door? Like she did 1,000 times before. Don't you love her ways? Tell me what you say. Don't you love her as she's walking out the door? All your love, all your love, all your love, all your love, all your love is gone. So sing a lonely song of a deep blue dream. 7 horses seem to be on the mark. Yeah, don't you love her? Don't you love her as she's walking out the door? All your love, all your love, all your love. Yeah, all your love is gone. So sing a lonely song of a deep blue dream. 7 horses seem to be on the mark. Don't you love her madly? Don't you love her madly? Don't you love her madly?
When you finally decided to record what became L.A. Woman, that was torture to begin with, wasn't it? Or was it just Paul had just run out of patience?
I think Paul had run out of feeling that he needed to hold it up, and they had run out of energy to play that game anymore. Everybody got tired. There was a time when Paul had to literally hold it up because there wouldn't have been any records. Because either Jim drinking or out of sorts, Jim unhappy with the guys unhappy with Jim. I mean, everything added up, and the producer has to carry the weight.
Yeah.
He has to juggle the balls, and sometimes the balls get very close to the floor. So we went into the studio to record this album. I had been at some of the rehearsing in the Doors workshop, and we got in the studio and started with Riders on the Storm. And Paul turned to me and he says, "Cocktail music." I said, "It sucks. I can't continue this." He says, "I'm going to leave." He says, "You can do this. You can make a lot of money." He says, "I can't take it anymore." So that's what happened. He just ran out of gas. We all do.
Riders in the Storm is the one where Jim is whispering
Right.
part of the lyrics.
Right.
Where did that come from?
We were mixing it, and I said to the guys, "You know, it would be very cool if we put on some sound effects on this. Rain and storm. I mean, usually, like in movies, you're not supposed to telegraph things. You're not supposed to be literal, even in music videos. If a song, the story is, I'm going out to the house and I'm going to go get myself a hamburger and I'm going to come back with beer with my boys, you don't show that happening. You don't be so literal. Well, anyway, I was literal, putting in the storm, but actually had nothing to do with what was happening, because the Riders on the Storm means a whole different thing. Then we did that, and all of a sudden, I thought to myself, God, it sounds like a ghost story. We need a ghost in there whispering. And then we talked over the guys and got Jim to whisper it. And it's really funny, when I mixed L.A. Woman about a year and a half ago for a surround album, new surround album, I got into their tracks. And I just played his track alone of the whispering. And it's really wild to listen to it. It's very, very strange. I mean, that's how going back and getting into these old recordings, I get a chance to sort of hear where we were coming from. Because when it's all together, you can't really tell.
Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm. Into this house we're born. Into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, and packed her out alone. Riders on the storm. There's a killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad. Take a long holiday. Let your children play. If you give this man a ride, sweet family will die. Killer on the road. Yeah. Girl, you gotta love your man. Girl, you gotta love your man. Take him by the hand. Make him understand. The world on you depends. Our life will never end. Gotta love your man. Yeah.
Hi, I'm John Densmore, Doors drummer. This is Off the Record with Joe Benson.
You told an interesting story on Mr. Mojo Rising. Where did that come from? Where did you...
Okay, this was after we recorded the song. First of all, I got the idea, Mr. Mojo Rising. That sounds rather sexual. Okay, so for some reason we slowed it down because cops in cars, the topless bars, never saw a woman so alone. So then we take it down, we slow the tempo down. And then he starts repeating Mr. Mojo Rising. And I thought, oh, well, we're rising here. Let's speed this up, like one would when one gets excited. Only the problem was a real challenge. The song is, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
I had to, several minutes later, in my mind, increase the tempo back and get it, hopefully, to the original tempo that's on the first couple verses. And if you compare the two, it's a little faster, but it's in the same area. So we finish, and Jim goes, check this out. And he writes down, Mr. Mojo Rising. It's R-I-S-I-N, Rising. And then he takes the letters and starts making arrows and writing the letters all twisted around, and it spells Jim Morrison. Oh my God. This guy's a genius. Oh, whoa.
Do you think he knew that going in?
He did,
Yeah.
but he didn't tell us.
He didn't tell that.
I miss him.
When he sang this, was he standing in the bathroom?
Bathroom echo, man. You're hearing the classic bathroom echo. Jim was in the bathroom on the corner of La Cienega and Santa Monica. There's a little Italian restaurant there now. You can go there. It's right behind Alan Ed's Auto Stereo. You can go there and eat where we recorded. The Italian food's very good, too. And you can go to the bathroom, and Jim Morrison recorded in that bathroom. That was his vocal booth, the isolation room.
Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown, like a dog without a bone, an actor out on loan. Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm, riders on the storm, riders on the storm, riders on the storm.
It was the last song Jim Morrison ever recorded with the Doors, Riders on the Storm. This is your Uncle Joe Benson, and in honor of the Doors' 40th anniversary, we're giving you a chance to win a copy of the upcoming 3-disc set, The Doors Live in Boston, courtesy of our friends at Rhino Records. Go to offtherecordshow.com to enter to win one of 15 sets. That's offtherecordshow.com. Contest rules are posted on the site. All right, coming up next, Off the Record, Ray Manzarek, Robby Krieger, and Bruce Botnick remember Jim Morrison.
Hey, this is Robby Krieger, and we are celebrating 40 years of the Doors, Off the Record with Joe Benson.
You've done some performing with Ray over the last couple of years.
Quite a bit, actually, yeah.
What was it like playing with Ray? What was it like playing in a live situation on these songs?
With Ray again?
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, it's, I've forgotten how great Ray is, to play with. In those days, I just kind of took it for granted, I guess, that, but after playing, with myriads of other organ players or keyboard players since then, playing Doors stuff, I just had forgotten how it is to play with the real guy, And we played quite a bit in the last 4 or 5 years. We averaged maybe 50 or 60 dates a year.
What was the crowd reaction like?
Oh, man, it's just been incredible. I mean, that's why we still do it, because when we first started, we didn't know that we were going to keep going, but I think that was the 25th anniversary, or no, it was 2000. It was the year 2000, so we said, we got to get back together and play, And unfortunately, John didn't want to do it, but Ray did, and it was great. The first gig we did was out at the Ontario Speedway, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. There was a lot of people came out, a lot of bikers, because it was a Harley-Davidson gig, And it was great,
At
man.
the California Speedway.
California Speedway. And we had, I guess it was from the Police, we had Stuart Copeland that played with us. And it was quite a gig.
Love me 2 times, baby. Love me twice today. Godspeed. Love me one time. Yeah, my knees got weak. Love me two time, girl. Loves me all through the week. Love me two time. I'm gone away. Love me two time. I'm gone away. Oh, yeah.
What has surprised you the most about the legacy, or what has happened with the Doors? You were saying when you were first working with them, it was a session, there was a group, things were happening.
But what's the legacy? The amazing thing that I find is that there are so many kids today that relate to it as if it's today's music, and that it's carrying on. It has this life. And I find that very flattering and very rewarding to be a part of something that's lasted this long. I mean, you can go back and listen to all the oldies stuff, but it doesn't connect. It's looked at as oldies, and the Doors are not looked at as oldies.
I guess we were lucky. We were just meant to play with each other, I think, that was it. Because I've played in a lot of different bands since then, and a lot of different situations, and it's never quite the same, We just had a communication that worked, Because, we were all into jazz, for one thing, and that's sort of how jazz works, Everybody kind of, it'll go off to a different plane and come back, and then everybody has to come in right at the same time. And so, I think us all being into jazz had a big factor in that.
Morrison was the point man, and he was out at the head of the diamond. Think of Morrison as the diamond, John and Ray and Robby to the left and right, and Densmore right behind him. So it's a diamond shape, and Morrison, all of that energy from us is going shooting out through him, hitting the audience and coming back and hitting him on the front. So he's getting it from the back and the front. He loved to be on stage, I mean, that's the one reason I think he's gone, is because I haven't heard about Jim performing. If there was one thing he would not be able to do, it's to stay off of a stage. He loved to sing. God bless him, man. I love that guy, and I miss him so very much.
People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down, when you're strange. Faces come out of the rain when you're strange. No one remembers your name when you're strange. When you're strange, when you're strange. People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down. When you're strange, faces come out of the rain. When you're strange, no one remembers your name. When you're strange, when you're strange, when you're strange. Alright, yeah. You're strange, faces come out of the rain. When you're strange, no one remembers your name. When you're strange, when you're strange, when you're strange.
The Doors are celebrating their 40th anniversary with the release of a new 3-disc set, The Doors Live in Boston, which comes out on Tuesday. And if you want to win a copy before you can buy it, log on to offtherecordshow.com to enter to win one of 15 sets. That's offtherecordshow.com. The Doors Off the Record is a presentation of Westwood One and was brought to you by Autolite. It's time to change your plugs. and by Nikon. Visit StunningNikon.com to check out the Rock and Roll Picture Show and experience the hottest concerts from behind the lens of one of the world's best digital cameras. StunningNikon.com. The Doors Off the Record was written and produced by Stacy Para. Production and engineering by Ron Harris. Assisted by Dave Amaya. Executive producer Norm Pattis. Special thanks to Westwood One's Stephanie and Stephen Cosio and to our friends at Rhino Records. I'm Joe Benson. You can email me at unclejoe@unclejoe.com and visit me on the web at offtherecordshow.com. I'll see you next time for Sticks Off the Record, featuring my brand new conversation with original bassist Chuck Panazzo.